I don't know why it's not capturing the sound from Discord. Hmm. Yeah, we are, but I don't know if I can. You guys can hear yourselves. It's not showing up on my meter. Everything should be set up fine. I reset everything yesterday. Like I redid everything. Uh, wow, this guy, unbelievable. Well, I'm not clean shaven. I've still got some shadow here, so hawks on you, sir. I don't know. Discord should be all the sound stuff is checking out here. Check, check. Okay. I set them to specific sound sources. I can try default, but I guarantee that will not do anything. So I will try it right now.
It has to be set in Windows.
Oh my god, it fucking worked. It fucking worked. Wow, fuck me. Okay, well, I think we're live, and you guys should be able to hear you guys.
All right. Can everybody hear everybody else? Does it appear we have sound on Twitch now?
Well, I'm seeing it on my meter. I don't know because I can't watch Twitch at the same time.
Yep, we can
there
hear
you go.
just fine.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Well, hello and welcome to this episode of the Dungeons and Debacles podcast. I am your host and dungeon master, Kevin. Going around the table, Hannah.
I'm Hannah, and I'll be playing Talia, the human rogue.
And John.
Hello. I play Lunadas, elven monk. Sexy.
And Shane.
That's me playing Alexander the Human Bard.
And Blake.
Hey, I'm Blake, and I'll be playing Juliet, the Eldritch Knight / Wizard Dragonborn.
And you may have noticed that Anna cannot make it this week, but we will try not to kill her character off. So the last time on Dungeons and Debacles podcast, you found yourselves on the river trying to make your way down to Kala. You had hired a boat from Woodbine to take you there, but they said as far as they were going was Hedgedale. On your way, I guess it was the second or third night, everybody went to sleep, and Alexander had an episode where the dagger took over his will and tried to kill a hunter who was sleeping around the camp, the communal campsite where you were. Your party was able to subdue him twice. Almost, I guess, killing him because of Talia, but you were able to bring him back to consciousness.
She was tickling him with her knives.
Yeah, tickle you with my daggers that I'm throwing. So you were able to bring him back to consciousness, only to have him try to attack the Kalia. You were able to knock him unconscious again and tie him up. The captain of the boat wasn't too happy about what was going on. After some persuasion and some gold, he allowed you to tie him up and put him on the boat and take you down river to Hedgedale. When you got there, you found out there was the Festival of Night going on in homage to the Raven Queen. Hedgedale being very superstitious folk with the undead running around the woods. They pay homage to this night to the Raven Queen to help protect their ancestors and loved ones from becoming undead. You go to a tavern called the Raven's Blessing, and And while inside getting some rooms, there was a bard that walked into the room, and the crowd went nuts. He introduced himself as Bartleby the Bard, who you recognize from hiring his group Crossbows and Daisies to cause a distraction at the Tower of Insight when you snuck in there and tried to steal the Amulet of Dominion. Bartleby proceeds to tell a story that is very relevant to this night and your situation, which is the story of Jarick the Entertainer, who was the bard that originally had the cursed dagger that Alexander is now in possession of. You learn through the tale that Bartleby told that his cousin Darby was very jealous of him as they were out on the road, as Darby wanted to be as famous as Jarick was, as far as being a storyteller, a singer, and performer. So he was, let's say, seduced by a raven-haired woman that appeared on the Night of the Raven many years ago. She had lured him back to a lake inside the Witching Woods. They got down, and she brought him back to her cabin so he could realize his destiny. She had told him while reading his fortune in town that he would become very famous and bards would tell his story for decades to come, which was the truth. As she brought him back to the cabin, he was intoxicated, and she gave him some sort of potion and told him, in order for him to realize his destiny, that he needed to go and find a firstborn infant child. He goes and gets his baby niece, who had just been born like the month earlier, brings the babe back to her cabin in the woods, where she sacrifices this baby and draws a demon into this ornate dagger that Darby later gave to his cousin, along with a silver flute, which Alexander also has. So after about a year, Jarick goes mad from this demon constantly gibbering at him inside this dagger. And then one fateful day back in Hedgedale, Jarick goes insane, kills his mother and his sister, Darby, his cousin, and himself. You also learn from the tale that his family was very superstitious and buried Jarick in the tomb or the shrine of the Raven Queen in a specially commissioned vault, along with the dagger and the flute. If you've been following the stories so far, and you guys wouldn't know this is mostly, well, I guess Alexander and Juliet would know this, that the person who originally had the dagger after that was Amonati the Warlock, who brought both items out of the tomb, but was killed by Sish, and that's where Alexander picked them up. So,
How much do the rest of us know about what's in the dagger? Has Alexander told us that it's possessed by a demon and that he's fighting and so on?
Yep.
How much have you told him, Alexander?
I'm pretty sure I've told him basically that there's a demon trying to take over my little brain space. I've had a little run-ins with. I'm pretty sure a lot of it came up whenever I kind of accidentally died last time.
Yep, that's exactly correct.
You ever learn its name?
Yes, but I'm bad with names, so I've already forgotten.
Or not? But okay.
Or non. So Bartleby finishes up this tale, and he grabs another glass of wine and drinks it and starts into a song. And after a couple of hours, the common room starts to thin out and he's winding down for the night and starts to begin to say his goodbyes. It's, thank you very much, my friends, for joining us this night and hearing our tales. Perhaps you'll see me later on the road, maybe in Lightdale, as it is my next stop. And as I continue my tour south, I should be in Kala by the end of the year. Thank you very much. As the stragglers left in the room, there's probably you and four other people who at this point are very drunk. You look around and you see a human who's passed out with his head on the table. The innkeeper at this point is going around and sweeping up and picking up some mugs and some goblets from the tables.
Well, that was an interesting story.
Explains a bit about our history.
At this point, Bartleby, grabs his things and he's coming off the stage and he's coming up to the bar. And he's like, innkeeper, if you would not mind, another glass for the road and my payment. And the innkeeper says, sure. What a night. Yeah, it was such a great night in crowds and your tales, they were just incredible. Yeah, this one's on the house. And the innkeeper, that woman that you talked to earlier, is going to pour some wine into a pewter mug and hand it to him. And she pulls out a sack and starts counting out gold and pushes it across the table. Bartleby is going to look over at you and say, my friends, did you enjoy the tales and song tonight?
Yes, it was very educational.
Wait. You, and he looks over to...
Wait, I said that in French accent. I forgot, I'm disguised.
He looks over to Juliet and Alexander and he says, I'm usually very good with names and faces, and you look familiar to me, but I can't quite place it.
Well, maybe my name will remind you. Yorish Redscale from Dormouth? The Isle of Insight, you were there too, right?
Oh, yes! Yes, that grand concert that we had out in front of the tower that the wizards got all up in a huff about. That was a great night. Everyone seemed to have fun except for the wizards and the town guard.
Oh, don't you know it?
You're quite a bit away from the isle. Weren't you a student there?
Yeah, but they kind of kicked me out, for doing the whole partying thing.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate to hear, but I would say it was worth it. What a night. I won't forget that soon. So, what brings you to Hedgedale?
I'm following along with one of my companions who can more easily tell you what our objective is.
I
Juliet.
am a trader in cheese and wine. I am looking to buy cheese and wine in Kala.
Cheese and wine, they're not really exactly known for that down there. They're more...
Exactly. Rarity will make it more valuable.
I suppose. But have you had the wine up in Fairdale? It's not too far for here, and it's much more excellent. It's the climate, you know.
But
You
yes,
can't really
everybody
grow.
has had Fairdale wine. That makes it boring. We want new wine, interesting wine.
Yes, I guess, but you know the warmer climates that down in Kala, they're not very conducive to grapes.
That is what will make it rare and therefore expensive.
As you say, you probably have a much greater head for trade than I, friend dwarf.
Yes, I am a dwarf. We are known for these.
Yes, you are, dwarf. Strange.
He's a little off-putting, trust me, he's harmless.
As you say. And he goes back to drinking his wine. He takes a swip. So, staying here for tonight in Edgedale? Staying for the whole festival? I'm afraid this is the only night that I can be here, as I have engagements elsewhere.
Yes, we're here just for the night as well. We're heading towards Kala.
Oh, which would you? Yes, explain the wine.
So how did you get out of the Isle of Insight? Did they kick you out too, or did you leave, or?
No, no, no. I just explained that I was hired and just a hired hand performing for the evening with the rest of my group, and they're a little bit upset, but it was no big deal getting out. It's not like we were tossed out on our ear. We just had to shut down early that night.
It is a shame when a party ends early. Was it much fun?
Well, I had fun.
It was fantastic. You shouldn't have missed it. Oh my. I do. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
They are quite the stodgy group up there, but they didn't kick us off stage or anything in the middle of a song. At least they were couth enough to wait till an intermission.
I do have a quick request. Would you mind signing my spellbook?
Oh, surely. And are you going to hand him your
Yep.
spellbook? And he says, and who should I make this out to again? I'm sorry.
Yorish.
Yorish. And he takes out a quill and some ink from his travel bag, and he writes something in there and blows on it, and then closes it back up and hands it to you.
Oh, thank you so much. You have no idea how happy this makes me.
Oh, anything for fun. And former employer who pays well. He takes a long swig of his wine and gets the bartender's attention. He says, "Please, just one more, and then I'll be out." And she brings over a pewter pitcher and pours some more wine into his mug.
So, that story you were talking about, would you happen to know anything more about the demon? Or the witch?
Oh, the story of Jarick the Entertainer.
Yes.
Well, I mean, all I know is the story that I've told that's been passed down from, year to year to year. I first heard it when I was in Luscane from a bard there. I was much, much younger then, and you look at him, and Bartleby is a human gentleman who appears to be probably in his early 60s. He has this long gray beard and long gray hair. And as he says that, he strokes his beard and says, I don't know much about it other than the tale and then some rumors here from townsfolk.
Is a powerful demon? Is it something that we should worry about escaping from that tomb?
Well, I don't know about that. As far as I know, is the demon was trapped inside the dagger, and apparently his family built a tomb inside there and buried him with it. So I don't see the problem unless some idiot fool goes into the shrine and takes it.
The world suffers from a fate of idiot fools.
Isn't that the truth? But as far as I know, most people don't go to the shrine of the Raven Queen. I mean, it's super spooky.
I
That
believe it is pronounced spoopy.
I haven't heard that, sir. But how'd you say? That and the Witching Woods, I mean, it's not a place you want to go wandering around, even on a path. There's tales that there's necromancers up in those woods.
How terrifying.
Yes, and apparently they murder their victims and bring them back to life as undead. That's why the Raven Queen is so popular around here, I hear.
You're saying the people around here are all necromancers?
No. The rumors are there's necromancers in the woods that will murder people traveling through and bring them back as undead. But those are just rumors. I haven't known anyone personally.
In that case, I will avoid the woods.
Excuse me, sir?
In that case, I will avoid the woods. They are not good for your health, sounds like.
Oh, no. And there's nothing really in there anyway, except for the shrine. And unless you're a priest of the Raven Queen or, holding a funeral for some especially superstitious people who believe that the relatives need extra protection from the Raven Queen. I mean, I can imagine many people travel through there. But you hear things, especially if you're bard.
Or listening to a bard. Heh.
True enough. Apparently, they've also had some, well, not recently, many years back, apparently, that some of the children here in town would dare each other to go up in those woods to try to find this witch, and they didn't return. No one ever gave me any names. It's always a cousin of a cousin or a friend of a friend's cousin who was dead to go up there and never came back. So who knows if that's true.
Well, witch
But
is,
anyone
if the
going
witch is going to be
into-
powerful enough to trap a demon, she's going to be powerful enough to wipe away the names of names of people from memories. You could never trust a witch.
True enough. But who would be fool enough to go into the woods looking for witches anyway?
In any event, good sir, I must go to my bed. It is important for my health that I get much sleep.
As you say.
And Luno goes upstairs. Well, Jacques goes upstairs because Luno makes him. Because Luno is Jacques.
I would have never guessed.
She'll be retiring soon as well. As he yawns.
Well, it was nice to see you again.
And,
It was nice to see you
takes
again.
logs. You as well, Yorish. Yorish it was, right?
Yes.
Well, safe journeys and travels. Innkeeper, please, may I trouble you for just one more glass? And at this point, you see the innkeeper's kind of giving him like this stink eye, but she doesn't, you know, protest too much. She
I
grabs
am
the
concerned
pitcher
that he might have
fills it
a
up.
problem.
What was that?
I'm upstairs. You cannot hear me.
How did he hear you?
How'd you see it then?
Yep.
I was metagaming. God.
Metagaming, get that stuff out of here.
Says metagaming pigeon. So, you folks doing anything else? Alexander, do you want to ask him any questions since this has everything to do with you? Are you
Shane?
playing the game?
Shane.
Shane? Did we lose him?
Yep, looks like it. Oh, is he back? Oh, did it shift all of the
We
things
can hear
around?
him.
Oh god, now I gotta move all the cameras.
We still can't hear you, Shane.
No, I'm Alexander, human bard.
Yep, and you're gigantic. Oh god, again. Oh my goodness.
Sounds reasonable. Tell me more about this demon.
I can see his green circle lit up, but I cannot hear him.
Yeah, I don't hear
can't
anything
hear him
either.
for shit.
And he may have been trying to ask questions this whole time.
It sounds stupid, but check and make sure your microphone is the one that is supposed to be selected.
Yeah, that Windows update hosed a lot of stuff. And he's...
This needs to stay in the podcast. This is good radio.
It is.
So, how's everybody doing?
And I kind of hate to move on from this scene because it has everything to do with him.
The question is, will Shane actually want to ask any questions that we haven't already
Be
said?
like, it sounds,
Yes, he will. And
be
he
like,
will
no,
ask
that
them
sounds legit. That's legit.
in character.
Shane is now muted. There we go.
He's off
No.
now.
Your circle's still green.
Might need to restart your computer.
Probably only Discord.
True.
This is fun stuff on Twitch, guys. I'm glad you're
He
watching.
says it's his mic that's not picking up.
Oh,
And
okay.
he's restarting Discord. Okay, while we wait for him, let's see. Who's holding those sending coins?
What's that?
Who's
I-
holding those sending coins?
I have
Our
one.
little walkie-talkies. Sending stone.
And
Oh, Luna
oh
has
no,
it.
the setting stones. I don't know.
Yeah, Juliet has
Alright.
one.
So I'm going to send to Juliet. But basically, this is our planning session while we wait for Alexander to come back. That we need to take Alexander out in the woods and have a frank discussion with each other and him and the demon to make sure that little episodes like that don't happen again.
Oh shit. Juliet is now thinking that you want to go out and just whack him. Just
That
be
is
done
a
with it.
distinct possibility. I would rather have the demon on our side. It could be a powerful ally, but if it's going to be, let's say, full of foolishness, like the issue with the elf, then we can just go ahead and kill him and bury the dagger and walk away. I'm happy to do that.
There is another option.
Getting the curse removed?
Yep.
Yeah, but that'd be really hard. I'm just thinking we bargain with the demon, offer, to find a way to get it freed and, remove the curse and all that good stuff.
Can you hear me?
While at the same time,
Yeah, we can hear you now.
we could kill. Hey, he's back. Basically, I'm thinking carrot and stick.
I don't know about that one. I feel like you face no repercussions from any bad decision that comes that way.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. But now you get to ask Bartleby any sort of questions you want.
I'm fine. I think you told us everything we need to know. We just have to go find the witch, right? And just try and quote unquote coerce her to help us or him.
No, we just need to stop you from killing people.
Means to an
And
end.
if the witch could remove the curse, that would be okay.
Honestly,
But-
think she will.
Probably not.
And she might charm Alexander and make him do even worse stuff.
It is what it is. I mean, I don't see another way to get this dagger off of me.
A super powerful priest, maybe. Or killing you.
Just fucking dump it in holy water. It'll be fine.
Well, I
let's-
mean-
let's try that.
The options you have here is you either die and your soul goes into the dagger, and that's the end of the Alexander story. And that might be brought along maybe fairly quickly by the rest of your party if things go at this rate. Or sating the bloodthirst of this demon possibly more and more frequently. Or finding a very high level priest that could possibly do it. You don't know. Or finding the witch who originally bound this demon to the dagger.
Yeah, maybe finding the witch is probably a decent idea. I mean, she's like, what, right next door?
You don't really know. You know
More
that
or less-ish.
rumors in the story, as far as you've heard, says that she's located somewhere in the Witching Wood. And where the tale originally started from, she had came to the town on Raven's Night and was telling fortunes.
Idea. Look around the town for a fortune teller.
Sure.
Isn't it nighttime
Then
now?
stab her right in the tits.
At this point, it's probably like 12:30, 1 o'clock. And even this tavern, as packed as it was before when you walked in, you and Bartleby and like a passed out drunk guy and the innkeeper and some serving people are the only ones left in here. So you think probably the festivities for the night are probably over. You can go outside and look.
Yeah, I might do maybe we should just do like a little precursory glance through the city to see if we can find her.
Okay. Did you want to ask Bartleby anything while he's here? Sounds like he's staying here at the inn for the night.
Another issue is that we might want to kill him, what with him recognizing Juliet and Alexander.
I mean, but he recognizes us by our aliases.
Yeah, but your aliases have been connected, could have been connected with the who's and what's it by the people that don't like us.
Alternatively, the disappearance of a well known bard might raise some questions, and being the last people to see him alive, we would be the first to be suspected. We could just, let him live.
Holy crap!
But the
Talia
dagger does need
advocating
to be
for
fed.
someone to stay alive. These truly are dark times.
Out of character, my husband just felt my forehead to see if I was feeling okay.
But the dagger does need to be fed, just saying.
Or we can try and find the witch and get the dagger off of me.
I like that plan. Let's do that.
Fine.
Or you can just take Alexander out in the woods and murder him.
That seems like the easier path, honestly.
The easier path, but he's our friend. We don't kill our friends.
Well,
those are bold claims. Out of character.
Is he really?
Is he really what?
All right. So is Alexander going to wander around town looking for a witch?
I was going to say, I think he's adventuring group proximity associate. All right, so are you leaving the inn and going out into the streets trying to find someone who is telling fortunes, or what are you doing?
I'm gonna try and see if there's any fortune reader peddlers on the streets.
Okay, so you walk out of the inn and you look around, and the streets are kind of littered a little bit, where people have been out here merrymaking and not paying too much attention to where the rubbish bins are.
They have rubbish bins? That's a very forward-thinking village.
It is. They're outside of some of the shops. They were probably rain barrels at some point, but people have been just threw their trash in them because people are terrible. You're also going
to see urban planning.
So you also look around and see like some black feathers that are on the ground that apparently have fallen off of some of these children's masks. You look around, and most of the like stands and carts that people had out here selling their wares, the carts are gone. There are some stands that are still set up, but you're not really seeing that many people out on the streets. You look to your left, and you're going to see a human man and human woman who appear to be pretty deep in their cups, stumbling down the street. You look to your right, and you are going to see one person who apparently was selling wine at a stand who is closing up shop for the night. But that's about all you see on the street right now.
Can I start making my way through the? Is the entire festival like located on this one street?
It's like the main street through town. You haven't really been anywhere else on any of the side streets, so you don't really know. But it seems like the majority of the people were hanging out here, going in shops. This is where most of the vendors were. Okay, the street itself is probably less than like an eighth of a mile. The street runs from the dock up through town. Most of the things here on the main strip appear to be shops and a couple of smaller inns. This Raven's Blessing is probably the larger ones here.
Okay, can I start looking through some of the back alleys?
Yeah, sure. So give me a perception check.
Sure thing. Correct. 24.
All right. So you walk out of the inn, and are you turning left or are you turning right?
Let's go left.
Okay, so you turn left and you look down the alley between the Ravens. It's not really an alley, it's a street between the Ravens Blessing and what appears to be a butcher shop. And you see down the street like some shadows that are playing up against another building that's behind the butcher shop. That one appears to be a like a haberdashery, but there is some light that's coming from somewhere. You can't really tell, but there is some shadows moving behind that.
I shall investigate. I will go
Okay,
towards it.
are you just walking up on it, or are you snaking?
I'm just walking up on it.
Okay, so you walk to your left between up the street between the Raven's Blessing and this butcher shop, and you pass this other street, and this is actually an alley that goes between the haberdashery and the butcher shop, and it appears to be a man and a woman making out up against the wall of the haberdashery. They appear to be human and in their 20s. And even though you're not trying to be sneaky, they are focused on each other and don't know that you're there.
I will walk away.
Okay. So are you walking on down the street, or are you walking back out
Yeah.
to the main street?
I'm gonna keep on going along the street past the haberdashery.
Okay. So you walk past that. You're looking around. You're not really seeing anybody on the streets. About 3 houses down, you're going to notice that you're starting to get into kind of a residential area. The houses here look pretty nice. You see some candlelight and some shadows moving inside one of the houses to your right. This is a very nice 2-story house. As you walk by, you can look inside, and it appears to be some sort of party going on inside there. As you get closer, you can hear some laughter and men and women talking. But you can see like their silhouettes moving through the what appears to be like a parlor of this room.
Okay.
You walking on?
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep on trucking.
All right. So you pass some more of these houses, and you think this is probably a pretty nice part of Hedgedale. The houses are very nice and well kept and well maintained. You're not really seeing anybody out on the streets. You're going to walk probably about another 100 yards or so, and you're going to see a human man who appears to be in his 30s, who is well dressed. He is sitting on the front porch of this house smoking a pipe. And you also notice that he has a raven mask on the porch beside him to his right. Appears to pick up a tankard of something and take a long swig. And he notices you and gives you a nod.
I will nod back. I'm a
Okay.
member of society, kinda. And then I will keep on going, I guess.
Okay, so you walk probably another 100 yards or so, and the houses are getting more like spread out here, and you are nearing what appears to be the edge of town, and the road kind of doesn't stop, but like fades into like a grassy area. And there's some woods here, probably another 50 yards beyond. But you think you're at the end of this side of town.
Okay. How long did this take in total? Probably.
Probably not more than 15 minutes as you're kind of taking your time, and you think you're maybe only 150 to 200 yards from where you started at the Raven's Blessing Inn.
Okay. I'll start heading the opposite direction to go back to like the butchery and past that.
Okay. So you walk by, and that same person sitting on the porch smoking the pipe still there, and he says, "You lost, stranger? Haven't seen you around here before."
Yeah, I'm just looking to see if there's any. I didn't have a lot of time to go to the festival during the day, so I'm seeing if there's any like open stalls or side peddlers that I could look at, visit.
Yeah, probably not this time of night. They'll be back. I'd say usually get started around noon. Got 2 more days to have fun.
Reasonable enough. Thank you.
All righty. Take care.
You too. I'll keep on going. I'll just head back into the inn.
Okay. So you head back to the inn, and at this point, it's probably been about 30 minutes since you left, and there's nobody out on the street. It's probably maybe 1:30 in the morning, 2 o'clock at this point.
Mm-hmm. I'll just head to my room.
Okay. It's kind of hard to tell because there's really there's only a sliver of the waning moon. It's about to be new moon. So you make it back to the inn, and you pass one alley, and you hear this retching, and there is a portly man who appears to be like in his 40s, with a brown beard that is retching behind the inn. Just about then, the wind picks up and the smell hits you. Smells like ale and bile.
Okay. I'll leave him be.
All right. So you make it back to the inn.
I will go to my room and attempt to go to sleep.
Okay. As you walk in, the innkeeper and servers have gone for the night, but Bartleby is still downstairs, and he appears to have taken a bottle of wine behind the counter, and he is sitting at one of the tables with a mug and a bottle in front of him, and he sees you walk in, and he's kind of nodded off, and you see him like jerk away. And he says, "Oh, hello there. No stop, just resting my eyes."
I will shrug my shoulders and just walk by.
Okay. So you make it up to your room, and you lie down in bed and fall asleep. And it's a dreamless sleep. You don't know how long you've been asleep, but you start hearing whispers from that demon again. And it says, "I know what you're thinking about. There's no way you can break free of my will. Even if you could find her, what could you possibly offer her to free yourself from me?
Good deep dicking.
John.
All right.
I mean, I don't think you're the one to decide what she wants or not, so I can try.
And that's the only thing Ornon says to you. So everybody wakes up the next morning. This point is probably 7 a.m. as you were up a little late. There's some people who have already started to filter in to the inn here who appear to be having breakfast.
Okay, so are we all downstairs eating? Is that what we're doing, everyone?
Sure. I am a
Indeed.
consumer of food.
So you go downstairs and we'll say you order your breakfast and you're eating. And at this point, there's probably 15 people inside the inn in groups of like 2 and 3. And, some of them are laughing and talking, and others appear to be nursing hangovers who aren't too appreciative of the people who are laughing and talking and kind of giving them the side eye. Those people you can see are already having some breakfast ale.
Hair of the dog.
Yep, little hair of the dog.
Cheveux de chien.
So we'll say you eat your breakfast. What do you want to do?
We should be going on our way now to leave the town.
I mean, but shouldn't we be... I want to look for the witch, because...
This is
Same.
not something we should be discussing in the inn, I do not think.
I mean, there's nothing wrong about chasing the fairy tale,
People might be superstitious. And yes, we are ghost hunters and witch hunters and so on in our spare time, but we should be careful.
As you say that, there is another dwarf that's at another table who hears you talking about this and says, "Ghost hunters, you say? Heard you talking about something about going up, trying to find out into the woods and find out which? That's no joke, friend."
It is what it is.
I had a second cousin's wife's her nephew. And he sits there and he's like trying to do the math, and he says, "Not exactly sure what that is to me, but anyway," said that he got dad to go into the woods and try to find the witch and deface our house. Never returned.
I would imagine that me and my heavily armed friends here can figure something out here.
Aye. Looks like you're well outfitted. I tell you what, though, those weapons won't do no good against that witch.
Why not?
Well, for one, she's over 3,000 years old, is what I hear. You don't live that long without having some wits about you and some power. That I can't manage, and she takes too kindly to visitors. Being out there in the woods all alone by herself, and I mean, just look at the evidence. Anyone who goes up there to try to find her doesn't come back.
Well, we would burn gifts of wine and cheese. This is only
Okay.
appropriate for a guest.
So you want to go up there and try to have tea time party with the witch in the woods? That's a recipe for getting yourself killed, my friend.
Or for finding a very good story.
If you want to go get lost in the woods, doing your cheese and wines thing, you certainly can. But if Alexander wants to go and find the witch, we should look in reasonably, and take some firepower along with us, holy water, information, all of that.
Now, friends, I know it's all Raven's Night and everything, but don't get lured into, feeling you're going to be heroes by going out and trying to find that witch in the woods. I mean, this is no joke. This isn't just rumors or folklore or myth. There's something out there in that woods, and people don't come back.
We appreciate the warning.
Please, thank you very kindly, friend.
Good luck to you. Whatever you do, stay out of them woods.
Alright, so this dwarf's name is Old Man Jenkins. He's trying to scare us off from the gold mine.
And it turns out he was the witch all along.
Yep.
Because it's some
The real witch was the friends we made along the way.
Yeah. The real treasure is the witch we met along the way.
Yeah, it turns out that he's trying to sell part of those woods to loggers. He does have kind of a lumberjack smell about him, of some fresh chopped wood. And he's wearing plaid.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
To put on women's clothing, hang around in bars.
I don't know. You could ask him.
So what's our next move going to be? You want to go search for the witch. I would like to go to Kala. We put it to a vote then? I think you win in going to search for that witch. Talia, you said you wanted to find the witch as well?
I mean, it'll be safer for us all in the long run.
Yes, let us go out into the woods. Do a bit of hunting.
Okay, let's do it. We should probably try and figure out where the witch is before we go out there.
I mean, from what we've heard, it doesn't seem like anybody knows.
So we're just going to wander into the woods and just hope we stumble upon her? That doesn't seem like a very smart idea.
Maybe we can use our...
we could use our omen.
You could ask around.
Information.
You're
ask our
literally in
oracle,
a
our little
fucking
statue.
tavern.
Taverns aren't libraries, come on.
Yeah, you can't read people.
Again, if you cut them open, pull out their entrails, and use oromancy. Oromancy?
That's a little too complicated. Maybe the high priest knows, or like a priest in the area.
Well,
I'm
sitting
sure
around here talking about it isn't going to let us find it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Anthropomancy.
All right, so what are you doing?
Let's go to the local what's it called?
Priestiary.
Yeah, the priestiary.
I like that better than the church or whatever.
The
Priestiary.
priest hall.
Base diary.
All right, so you finish up your breakfast and walk out of the inn, and you start asking around about temples, and it appears that there is a small temple to Palor. There is another temple of Cord, and that there is a small sect of that's kind of like a temple here to the Raven Queen.
Let's go check him out.
Let's see. Do I see any sign of red talons?
Give me a perception check.
14.
As you look around town, there's going to be some markings. You don't know thieves can't, do you?
I don't. Only Talia.
Okay.
I do.
Okay. So if you're not seeing any markings that you would associate with the red talons, but Talia is going to see some markings that are in thieves can't. If you pointed them out to her.
I do. I said, look, these look like thiefy things.
So as you are walking along the street, you are going to see a mark over the on one of the posts of the butcher shop that it's not hidden, but it's not like in plain view, but it is a mark for what appears to be a fence. So if you had some stolen goods or something and you were in town, this is the place where you would go to see about selling some of them.
Does anyone have anything that has, distinctive markings that might be easily identifiable by someone who found them? Because you could just sell them to this guy.
We have a dagger. We need
You
to
could
get
sell
it
him the
out.
dagger.
We probably could, but I think he'd probably get mad whenever he does it.
You might not even be able to part with it. I don't know. But,
Physically.
Yeah.
That would make it a very good scam, Sell it over and over again.
Yeah, I think they'd catch on though, right?
Eventually.
Well, you don't sell it to the same person over and over again.
There are going to be wanted posters eventually of you.
That's why you disguise yourself.
So the only other thieves can't you see is a marking over what appears to be like a textile shop. That is a marking that's for information. And as far as like your impression of that, like information would mean like, hey, this is where you go if you're looking to make some quick money for things that aren't quite legal.
Anyone? Yes, no, maybe so?
I mean, is
Talia
Talia
would
telling us?
Talia telling
Yeah,
the
I
rest
would
of us
be
about this?
Yeah, maybe we can check out.
No, I'm just wandering around, and you guys are following me because that makes sense.
Well, John would have pointed it out because that's what he got for rolling a 24 on his perception.
I rolled a
check.
14, not a 24.
Yeah, he rolled at 14. That was Alexander's perceptions.
Alexander's, okay. Well, I already said it, so we'll say it is. So that's the two pieces of thieves' camp that you see in the town. One is for the fence, and then 2 buildings down is a textile shop that appears to be a place to get information and jobs.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe,
if they have information, we should go check them out.
yeah, maybe they know about the witch. I
You are a
will
thief.
walk
You can
inside.
go get informations.
Okay. So you go to the textile shop, and it has a sign. Doesn't have a name of the shop. It's just got what appears to be like a spool of thread and a pair of scissors. You walk in, and it's not a large shop, but from the space inside, which is probably like 20 by 25, it's just almost cram packed full of these spools and bundles of fabric. Everything from like linens to silks, and there's everything from like this off-white, not quite bleached, to crimsons and purples, and there's kind of a smell in here that takes you a second to place, and then you realize, oh, that's like mothball, that apparently they use to keep the moths off of the clothing in here. So you kind of have to like squeeze in this aisle that leads up to a desk at the back of the shop, and there's probably about a 2.5 foot space between all these bundles of cloth. And at the end of the shop, you're going to see this very skinny, not emaciated, but doesn't look like he's very healthy, human male who is probably in his mid 40s. He's got this long, greasy black hair and this long mustache that's comes down around his chin and then extends down almost into a goatee. He's got these sunken eyes and cheeks, and he appears to be writing something in a book and sees you come in, and he's like, "Oh, well, hello, friends. How you doing? Is there something
Must
I
have
can help
conformed
you
to the
with?"
stereotype. I don't actually.
What? Okay. So, what's happening?
I look at Tully. I don't know if these can necessitates anything.
I don't either. Although I am part of a thieves guild. A side note that I don't say out loud. I say we're looking for information, and something tells me you could help us.
Whoa! Now, slow down there, little lady. Let's come back here. And he motions you like off to this little space that's kind of like carved out on the side, that there's no bundles, and says, "So I'll take it you're not here to for the cloth, right?"
No, but it is exquisite.
I know. I just get the finest that comes in here. Yeah, I take it you saw the mark outside.
I did.
Okay. Well, you got to know that information ain't free. So I'd like to see the color of your coin before we start talking.
Talia's gonna pull out 10 gold coins.
Oh, yeah, that looks like that do, depending on what you want. So, what you want to know about? Hey, and the rest of these folks are cool, right?
They are
Cool.
very cool.
All right, everybody, just be cool, and we'll all be cool. So, what you want to know?
We're trying to
looking
see food. Oh, excuse me.
We're looking for a witch, the Witch of the Woods, and we're hoping that you might have information on her location.
Come on, you're not serious now, are you?
Talia's gonna.
That's just a kid's tale. Ain't no witch.
We have reason to believe that it's not just a children's tale. Do you have information on it or not?
Well, I can tell you what I hear.
Please.
And he holds out his hand.
Talia's gonna drop the coin in his hand.
He still has his hand out as he clears his throat.
Can I help you with something else? I'm not entirely sure what you
And he
expect.
looks at his he looks at the one coin that you just put in his palm.
Oh no, I meant multiple coins.
Okay. So you put the coins in his hand, and he says, "All right, here's what I do know. So, these stupid townie kids, they used to go up there and play in them woods and say they were going to try to find the witch, and a lot of them never came back. But apparently, they all like go up to that lake, and there's something about some tale about some stupid little halfling that lived, I don't know, 100 years ago or so. I don't exactly know. Anyway, so apparently the tale goes that, there was some halfling went up to the lake and did a little, onka onka with some witchy woman, and she took him back up to the cabin. And apparently, the lake's up there is where you start, and then there's some sort of trail that goes out to the west, out into the woods. I think that's probably about all I can tell you.
For 5 more gold, would you be willing to sketch a quick map?
Sure, I've been up to the lake.
Talia pulls out 5 more gold and a piece of parchment.
Okay. So this man takes the parchment, and he's got a quill, and he starts drawing you a map, and it's taking a really long time. But as like you're kind of like peering over to see what he's doing, it's a really detailed map, and apparently he's taking some time with this. And you see the town, and you see a path of what appears to go out to the northwest, and then like the shape of a lake, and then some different paths that leads off to that. And after a while, he says, "Oh, there you go. I think that's about the best as I can do. So what you're going to do is you're going to leave out of here to the northwest of town, and you're going to continue on for probably about an hour till you get up to the Witchin's Wet, which is what they call that lake up there, up in the woods that comes down off the mountains. And then you're going to see 4 paths that go out into the woods. Which one you want is the one that goes off to the west. Now, I've been up in there, but I haven't traveled very far because, it's just the woods, and there's really nothing to see out there except trees and leaves, and they don't quite interest me. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to take that path up to the west and continue on. I haven't been there myself, is you're going to continue on for about another 2.5 hours. And then from there, what you're going to see is a path that apparently goes back out into the woods. I don't know how far, but how it's marked is there's this big, grand old hemlock tree. Been there for a long time, but it never fell. Now, this thing, they say, I ain't seen it myself. They say this thing's probably about as big around as a horse, and you can't miss it. It's one of the biggest trees out there, and it go up about 100 feet or so. Now, what you do is once you pass that, probably about another 30 yards or so. Now, I haven't been there myself. This is what I'm told. Is there's a path that goes out there into the woods, probably about another hour or so, and it's a narrow one. But that supposedly it take you up to the witch. And that's about as best as I can do for you. But I can tell you this, I don't think it's exactly true, but why tempt fate? Why exactly you want to go up there anyway? I know this ain't none of my business. You don't have to tell me, but...
Well, you are correct. It is none of your business, but trust that we have our reasons.
But I like rumors and gossip. I may trade in it.
Precisely, why you will learn nothing from us. Thank you for your help, sir. And Talia's going to start walking out the door.
And you start walking out the door, and he looks at the rest of the party. He's like, "That's a shrewd one, that one. got a good hit on her shoulders.
Indeed. Good day to you, sir.
No, bye now.
Ba. Ba. Ba.
Ah.
Ba. Do. Ba.
All right, so
All
we're
right.
outside. We have a map. Is that correct?
And we are going out into the woods.
Great.
So you make it back out of the street, and you're probably in here maybe 30 minutes from the time that you first started speaking to the man. Didn't catch his name because you didn't ask, and which is probably for the best. And the time that he took to draw the map, which probably took the most time. As you walk outside, it is probably mid-morning at this point, after finishing breakfast and coming into the shop. There's a lot more people out on the street now. Vendors are starting to set up their shops with various casks of ale that you see being set up and butts of wine. There's also what appears to be some people selling some meat pies and some candies and some pastries. Kids are back out on the street chasing each other around, and the town is picking up with its liveliness. Is there anything else you would like to do? Maybe do some shopping or look around before you head to the woods?
I'm good.
I need to go shopping.
Same.
Yeah, Talia, what are you looking for?
Things.
Uh-huh. So I take it you're not going to go
Nothing in
shopping
particular.
with me.
Oh no, I'll go shopping with you. I just don't know what I'm looking for yet.
Oh,
I just have a
okay.
shit ton of money and I need to spend it at some point.
Where's Abbott?
Left him behind. He's
Abbott, yeah, probably in the stables with the horses.
Buy him an adorable little sailor outfit.
As much as I would love that.
All right, so Talia's window shopping. Is there anything specific you're looking for, Juliet?
Yes. They're selling these Raven Queen masks. They cover the whole face, right?
Yeah, so it's basically almost like a reversed hood that it looks like there's some sort of rigid part to it that you know of, because that's the only way that you could extend a beak. And most of the masks that you've seen, they have like this long beak that extends out probably about like 18 inches. And then there's like this hood that goes around the back of the head, and almost like it goes past your neck, and they look to be like some sort of black cloth, but there's feathers sewn into this somehow to make it kind of look like a bird's mask, and there's eye holes that are cut out.
Perfect. I would like to get one of those sized for Juliet. I will also buy one for Vikala, because she's going to need it, and I know she's going to insist she doesn't, but that's not true.
Okay. So
Talia's gonna grab one as well because it's adorable and she loves it.
Okay, so
And then she'll pull her hood up so she'll have bat ears and a bird's face.
So you find like 3 stands and you're browsing around and you got the money to spend, so you find the stand that has, the best looking masks, and these look like really, really nice. It's like the beak is made out of kind of like this lightweight wood that's been painted black, and there's this like black velvet cloth that makes up the hood, and there's like these really nice black raven feathers that have kind of like this that oily sheen that almost makes them look like a purplish oil slick. And around the eyes, you see where those have even been like sewn to make them very smooth. You pick it up and you try it on, and it's a lot heavier than you thought it would be. And it's a little like front heavy from the beak of the mask. But you could pick each one of these up for 1 gold.
Cool. So Juliet is going to buy one for herself and Vikala.
You also notice that not only do they sell the masks, but they have like these black robes that they're selling as part of like a costume that look very nice too. And they have like this cloak that is made of like the same black material as the hood that has these raven feathers like sewn into it as well. It's not like thick with them, but it's like they're spaced out because, I mean, how many raven feathers are you going to find? But you could pick one of those up too in various sizes that you could have probably tailored right here on the spot for another 2 gold pieces.
Juliet's going to buy the rest of the costume. Kala can buy her own.
Talia's gonna buy a smaller version of the costume.
Okay. They've got like kid sizes and tweens. So you're able to pick one of those up.
Does Talia see anything like magical or something that would be cool that she would think is cool?
At this table, no. It's just they're just selling masks and the robes.
She should buy some ninja stars.
Yeah, that's over there beside the ninja swords and the Confederate flags.
And the nunchucks.
And also the short daggers that have a paragraph of cool text on it.
They also got
their family. You'll mess with them.
Yeah. They also got like a black velvet painting over there. It's got a tiger on it. Very fantasy flea market. So you got your costumes, and anybody else want them, or what else are you doing?
I think I'm fine. I'm not in need of really anything.
Talia wants to browse the rest of the stalls to see if there's anything interesting that catches her eye.
You browse the rest of the stalls, and I mean, there's all sorts of odds and ends here. There's one apparently that is geared towards kids, and it's got like some wooden like practice swords and daggers. They have like a thin wooden shield that looks like it's used for
wooden
play.
Sword. Once you level it up, it's going to be the most lethal weapon in the game.
It's my wood saber. You're also going to find like other odds and ends. There's people here selling pies and ale, pastries.
Talia's totally going to pick up some pastries.
Okay, so you could pick up, some apples that are in season here. You pick up like an apple pastry for like a silver piece. It's really good.
I don't know how to calculate that.
It's 1/10 of a gold piece. You're also going to find a stall here that is selling holy symbols of the Raven Queen.
Ooh. Yeah, I'll pick up a holy symbol of the Raven Queen.
That's blasphemy.
I don't have a god. How is that blasphemy?
The Raven Queen is watching. I mean, I don't do that sort of thing.
Give me a religion check.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not really religioning anything, but 22, sure.
From what you've heard of the Raven Queen, she doesn't care. I mean,
Oh, the gods
she's
always care.
basically there. Well, maybe about her followers. Some the priests and the clerics. But she's mainly there just to transition people from life to death.
Fair enough.
So you're able to find that. You also, there's people out there who are like trying to give out pamphlets. They appear to be like followers of Palor, trying to get people to, turn away from, this superstition and, not worshiping the Raven Queen.
Oh,
but
how
nobody's
much was
really
how much
holy
was
symbol?
yeah.
That's 3 silver pieces. It appears to be made out of iron. It's fairly well made, if a little crude, but it's like a dark, like scorched iron, made to look black. But the Palor people are out here, and they're proselytizing and telling people to turn around or turn away from the Raven Queen, and um, they're kind of just being looked at like, hey, the assholes on the side of the street, with their signs and yelling at people. But there's only like 2 of them, and nobody's paying any attention.
Let us be on our way into the woods.
Are we going to drag a wagon into the woods?
I do not see why not. We
Still
done
have
it
the opportunity
before.
to leave it behind forever.
There
Never have to
Oh my
worry
God,
about it
no.
again.
As one of the family.
Where am I supposed to nap when I don't feel like writing anymore?
Exactly. It is Talia's house. And it is where Abbott sleeps under at night.
You know that wagon's going to be the downfall of us.
It will be our salvation, you mean?
What's going to happen is you're going to be like down in a valley, and it's going to roll off a cliff and crush you all.
Yeah. How else are we supposed to carry all our wine and cheese?
The wine and
In
cheese
the
we don't have.
campaign.
Yet.
It also
All
carries
right.
our supplies, our dried fish and such.
All right. So, are you leaving town, or is there anything else you want to do?
Nope, I think we're leaving town.
Okay. So at this point, it is after you've done your shopping and your sightseeing and talking to the map guy. It's about 1 in the afternoon. This being later towards fall, the sun's getting a little lower in the sky. So you head out of the town to the northwest, and as you make it through town, you see all the shops, and from end to end, town's probably about a quarter mile. Um, After you make it from the outskirts of town, where the road becomes a little more rutted, um, through this grass that's going to lead out to this opening into the woods. Uh, the tree line's probably about 100 yards away from the town. You're going to see, as you walk through here, there's some pens for some cattle and some chickens and pigs. There appears to also be like a warehouse on the backside here, and stables. So you make it out, you make it to the tree line, and the opening here and the path that runs through here is probably a good 20 feet wide. So there's no issue at all. But as you make it into the woods, You're going to see that fall is in full effect here. So the leaves have started to change. You see some yellows and some reds, still a little bit of green in some places, and brown in others. Leaves have started to fall off the ground, and you see like a thin carpet here off the path, and there's some more out here on the road going into the woods. So after about an hour on this path, you are going to come to a clearing, and you can hear some water running. And you look over to your right, and you're going to see this. They call it a lake, but it's probably more like a very large pond. You're going to see one or two kids that are out here playing with their parents. There's probably maybe 2 or 3 families out here that's doing some sort of picnic out here by the lake. So you don't think this is too ominous, that they're out here, just having a mid-afternoon play at the lake. Are you continuing on to try to find this path that leads off to the west?
Indeed.
We shall find the west path.
All right, so you continue on this path past the lake, and you can see now that there is like a path that goes like around the lake and goes off to the east, and there's another one that kind of goes to the southeast, and another one that goes directly north, and then you see the one where you think you need to go, and according to the map, and it's off to the west. So you make your way towards that path, and give me a perception check.
Eight.
18.
Passive of 14.
I've got
No,
child
passive of
eyes.
16.
I don't think passive matters whenever you make an active check.
Well, I mean, passive would work on this too.
Passive of 10.
But your all's passive would probably be lower than what you would need to see this. So as you're going down the path, you're looking around, and you happen to look back, and you're seeing like these 3 families that were out here playing by the lake. They're all like staring at you at this point, which you think's kind of weird. But
It is
you
because we
continue
are so
on.
beautiful, I think.
Maybe, or it could be because you are taking this path that nobody takes, that they kind of know what's out that way. So you take the path to the west here, and first of all, it's a lot more narrow. It's probably about 7 to 8 feet on either side, and it kind of undulates from being wider out to 10 feet. But the grass and the brush has grown up here because it's not well traveled. It's just there's mainly a path here because the woods or the trees aren't so close together. As you pass through here, you are going to hear the sounds of your horse's hooves and the cart on the leaves crunching through here. You're also get this smell of decay, but not unpleasant. It's that smell of the leaves that have fallen off the trees and intermingled with like the mud here that you're traveling over top of, where it's rained recently. You're hearing some birds chirping and some squirrels chattering as you move through here. And you're going to travel for probably about 3 hours, and it's much the same. And at this point, it's starting to get dusk. The sun has gone down over the mountains here in the distance. So you're still getting some of this ambient light that's coming back from behind that and filtering through the trees, making these dappled patterns on the fallen leaves on the ground, and starting to get darker. And you're going to travel on for maybe another 30 minutes or so. And even though it's starting to get like that purple hue in the sky, you can see this large looming hemlock tree that almost has like this grayish white bark on the outside of it that looks like it died like a decade ago, and there's no reason why it should be standing up, but it still is. As you come upon it, you're going to see a hollowed out place in the trunk, and this thing's huge. It's probably a good like 8 feet in diameter, and there's this hollowed out place in the middle of it that takes up like most of the tree. You don't have any doubt this is the tree that the guy back at the textile shop was talking about. So you continue on for about 50 yards, and you are going to see a path that turns off the main path here to the left and goes further back in the woods. And at this point, it's getting darker and you can't see very far back up in there. But one change that you've noticed, and this just came to you as you were coming through here, is, before, as you were going down the path, there were still some leaves on the trees and blocking some of the light. But as you look around here, it seems like most everything the leaves are off the trees. But as you take a closer look, it's not because of fall. It looks like these trees are dead.
This is fine.
Are you turning down this path?
I say yes.
Sure.
All right. So you turn down this path, and it's going to be kind of hard to get the cart through here because everything has like grown up, and there's a bunch of brush on either side of like this small that you would think it would be like like a deer path or something like that. You can probably get the cart through, but you're going to be making a lot of noise as the cart brushes up against all these the brushes or the brush and brambles through here. So you continue on down this path, and if you thought that the trees behind you were dead before, it's very obvious here that these trees that were once oaks and maples, and even the evergreens, appear to be dead. There's no leaves on the trees, no needles on the pines. As you look around, it seems like the only thing that is living here is the brambles and pinchy and pointy bushes, all the stuff that's nasty. You look around at the floor of the forest here, and there looks like there's been some leaves that have blown in, but the ground seems to be like this dead grass that just never went away. It's probably about like a foot tall, to where it has been like blown over and pushed over, but it just never decayed and went away. So after you travel about 45 minutes down this path, you're going to see up ahead what appears to be a clearing. And really, the only reason that you can tell that it's a clearing at this point is there's a little bit of light coming from this clearing as the sun is now fully down. There is still a little bit of glow on the horizon that's quickly fading, and there's no moon.
Spooky.
All right, should we
are
stop
you-
for the night, or should we keep on going?
My vote is to stop for the night.
I guess we
And,
should might as well stop here.
And
Probably a good idea.
At this point, you are probably about 100 feet from this clearing and this glow. Everybody give me a perception check except for John.
Except for me?
Olunidas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Double 14s.
18.
7.
All right. So Juliet and Olunidas, you are going to hear this moving is the best way to describe it. It sounds like if you had like 100 people that are kind of just like walking around but not saying anything in like various places spread out like through the woods here is kind of what you're hearing. You hear like footsteps and some like movement. You don't see anything, but you hear it, and it seems to be coming from the clearing up ahead.
Sounds like a very dull party up ahead.
So not
People
something...
just sort of walking, not saying anything.
Maybe stopping isn't the best idea. Or if
Yeah,
we
let's go up
check
to the
it out.
clearing, see what's going on.
Yeah.
Nothing bad can come from this.
It'll be fun.
So are you all just walking up to the clearing?
Absolutely.
We are stealthing up. Unless
Yeah,
if you guys
stealthing.
want to walk up, you can, but Juliet is going to try and stealth.
Talia will take Juliet's lead and actually stealth.
I will try to stealth as well.
I will wait for them to see what happens. I'm watching from a distance, is what I mean.
Coward.
So that is a 4 for Alexander. 20
A 20 for Talia.
And a 1 for Juliet.
Nice.
If you wanted to go stealthy, you should have just let Talia go.
We're not letting Talia just go alone.
So the 4 of you start walking up, and Luno, you're behind, and you're just like cringing because you can hear Juliet
Snap,
making,
crackle, pop.
yeah, that and like the plates of her plate armor are like kind of banging together as Alexander is like stepping on dead twigs, which is easy to do because most of the stuff here is dead. Like all the vegetation just decided that it didn't want to live here, and you feel like there's like this like death that's just creeping out from this epicenter of whatever is up ahead in this clearing. But the 4 of you walk up to this clearing here, and As you get closer, you're probably about 30 feet away from where the trees stop and the path opens up. And inside, or this clearing here, from the glow coming from inside of what you now see is like this 2-story wooden house, is just these silhouettes of shapes here in the darkness. And you look around, and there must be dozens of them. You don't see them as much as you smell them, as there is this smell of just decay of flesh that's got to be months, if not, years of sitting out here in the sun here, probably maybe even the newer, preserved a little bit by the coldness or the chill that's been in the air of these nights recently. But it just, the smell of death coming from inside of this clearing is not overwhelming, but you feel the urge to like gag a little bit.
I'm going to go ahead and ride my horse into the clearing. Or wagon.
Okay.
I mean, I know you guys didn't sneak in, so I'm not even going to try.
Hey, I snuck in.
You did. So whatever's going on in here is not aware of you.
Well, there's no I in Team here, Talia.
But there is a me.
need.
All right. So here comes as you're like sneaking up to the edge of this clearing and kind of like getting behind the trees. Here comes Lunados just bouncing this cart down this trail, hitting all the sticks and bushes and brambles that are sticking out on the side. And you just see him go past into the clearing. And as you get into the clearing, do you have you've got dark vision, right, Luna?
I'm an elf.
Okay. So the first thing that gets you is the all these shapes, right? As you're getting closer to it, and you're like, wow, that's like a lot of people that are like hanging out in this yard. And then the smell hits you of this decay. And as you get closer, you look around, and it's just this mass of young men in various states of decay that were kind of shambling around this cabin. But as soon as you enter into the clearing, they all stop and they turn around and look at you. And I think that's probably a pretty good place to end the episode.
Huzzah! People are paying attention to me.
Very
I
sneaky.
have friends.
All right. So you are in the Witching Woods, and presumably at this witch's abode.
About to
that
fight off a
is
horde of
filled with-
ghouls and zombies.
Yeah, it's dozens and dozens and dozens of zombies and skeletons from what you see entering this clearing.
It'd probably be nice if we had a paladin or something.
What do you know?
Well, paladins don't have turn undead, so
Yep.
Oh, cleric.
they used to back in like what, 2nd edition, 3rd edition?
Mm-hmm.
Not no more. But anyway, yeah. So that is the first part of the tale of the Witch in the Woods. Thanks everybody for coming out and playing. This is this next episode is going to be fun, maybe. For me at least. But
Let's see
thank
if
you
we
all
get that
so much.
TPK you've been hoping for.
Oh yeah. So thank you all so much for joining us on Twitch on the live stream, and we hope to see you next Sunday to maybe finish out the rest of the tale of the Witch in the Witching Woods.
This will be fun. It'll be fine.
It's fine.
This is
See you
fine.
around.
All right, bye.
All right, I really have to pee.